Jo, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very good. It's nice and sunny in London today. Whereabouts are you?
Yeah, so I'm just outside Market Harbour and it's beautiful here as well. So I'm a big fan of sunshine. I'm not a fan of rain, so
Yeah.
I'm quite happy today.
So how have you been coping? So is it obviously you're the managing director of Sheer Edge. Is Sheer Edge still alive and kicking today?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I'm quite fortunate in that my husband has been working throughout. So we've been trickling along as you can probably imagine. But yeah, still alive and kicking, very much kicking and raring to go, to be honest. So yeah.
You're based from home, aren't you? So
Yeah, so I'm in
you
the
have
home office here,
yeah
yeah,
yeah.
and mainly because we want to keep our overheads low, but equally the nature of our business means that we go out to see clients, go out to see venues a lot, obviously go out to the corporate events. So there's very little need to have premises right now, and so and at this time I'm quite grateful we didn't do that. So yeah.
It seems like the whole UK, there's so many big corporations now that are looking at the working from home is the best way forward, and actually employees seem to be either getting more from it, being a bit more productive, and actually enjoying working a little bit more. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, to be honest, the nature of Sheer Edge, the reason I set up the business was because I had my son, and I couldn't return to they wanted me to go back full time. And, I wanted to do part time. I'd just had a baby. I'm an older mom. So I wanted to be able to spend that extra time with him and I couldn't. So that's why Sheer Edge was set up originally. So we've always worked from home. It's just now we've got more people that are also working from home working with us, so it's great. Really, we've always worked this way, but it just re-emphasizes the point that work-life balance can happen and you can still have great success. It doesn't have to be sat in an office all the time. So yeah.
So where was you before Sheer Edge? What was your
Yeah, so
hospitality journey?
I worked at Silverstone Circuits and I was a business development manager for them, and it was promoting their conference and exhibition space, obviously selling the hospitality as well, which is brilliant, loved it. And prior to that I worked at the ICC in Birmingham, and prior to that I worked for West Bromwich Albion. So I've got a corporate hospitality and the events and venue background, hence why Sheer Edge has always fulfilled that. So yeah, that's a little bit about me, really.
Are you a West Bromwich Albion fan?
I like to be neutral. I don't like to say, really.
But there's so many good clubs in the Midlands. Obviously, Leicester being
Yeah.
the better one at the moment.
Yeah, that's it. But yeah, I loved working there. The clients were fabulous, and I stay in touch with all of them regularly. So they're the sort of the earth sort of people, and I did love working there. It's just career advancements and things like that. You sort of get a bit hungry to move on, don't you? So yeah.
I love on your LinkedIn, you call yourself the venue geek.
But I just am. I geekily love finding new venues and unique venues and different ways that clients can, be creative about their event. People don't always think that making the venue part of that vision, and it really does. It makes a massive difference. So yeah, I'm geeky about it, and my colleague is as well. So that's great. We're both geeks.
And it also says that you're passionate about events. How passionate are you about events?
Oh, it's in my blood. It's it's my joy. It's what I love doing. I can't, I wake up every day and I love doing what I do. There isn't, my husband said, what will you do if you can't do that anymore? And I was like, I just really don't know. I don't know the answer to that,
Yeah.
because I do what I love every single day, and I feel really grateful and fortunate to be able to do that. But I think the difficulty is obviously when you can't do events, what else do you do? And I think that's the thing. I think we've all been thinking about other ways to get ourselves out there and do more and do different things. So probably doing a lot of fundraising, which is what I've started to do as well.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know what else I would do. Don't know.
So that's a good link. Then I've seen on LinkedIn, you are doing so much really good work. I see that you've got the webinars. You're You do your coaching as well, and yeah, you touched on the charity thing. You're doing, is it the marathon?
Marathon a month. Yeah,
Yeah.
I couldn't do a full marathon in one go. I'd need
Right.
a hell of a lot more training. And my 4-year-old, he would want me to be gone half the day at the
Yeah.
moment. So yeah, it's a marathon a month. So I've been running every other day since, you know, this has all happened. And I just thought to myself, well, I might as well do it for a good cause, because I always do runs. I do organise runs every year.
Yeah.
I did the Birmingham half marathon last year. So for me, I might as well make use of the time, and if I can raise funds doing that. So this month I'm doing it for Try Cross Do, but I will be choosing other charities on the consequent months until the weather stops me.
And then the webinars, people at the moment, you talk to them, when lockdown started, there was this huge boom in new content from marketing agencies, event agencies and stuff. And it seems to have simmered down a little bit now. And it seems that you have to be very consistent with the stuff you're putting out, don't you? So I feel like now the stuff that's coming out is actually better quality than it was at the very start, because everyone became a public speaker and a motivator and everything.
Well, that's it, and it's so different online though, isn't it? Because you can't always gauge a response. You know, it's really, really different. I think for us as a multi-service agency, we knew that we couldn't venue find, we knew that we couldn't book corporate hospitality, but we knew that we'd got the fledgling part of the business, which was the training. So we started to look at how we could get the courses online, but equally wanted to spread a bit of positivity and get a conversation going, even if it was an unknown conversation, just, you know, getting people to respond, because we just felt, at least if you've got a voice and you can use it and speak to industry professionals, then that's a positive thing, no matter what happens. You know, we've been involved in doing that, and it's sort of snowballed really. You know, we do regular live chats. We've started doing live tutorials because obviously we want to link it to the training. If people want to learn during this time how to upscale in events, or, you know, health and safety, or, you know, how to present online, you know, there's a whole range of options, and it's really helped to gain some traction. We've been, you know, it's been greatly supported, and we've had loads of great collaborators on it as well. So we're really pleased about that.
Would you say in some ways it's actually elevated your business a little bit higher than it was before? I feel like that with Posh Cockney right now. I think, you know, we came straight out the blocks with starting the podcast and doing other things. And I really think that it's brought Posh Cockney up to another level. You know, I think when I look at other people that have done something similar, I definitely think yourself and Sheer Edge have been working hard behind the scenes in it. And when this is all over, I think that you're going to be, you know, the pool of clients that you're going to get will be even bigger. Would you say that's true?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to think so. I'm a great advocate for positive mental attitude. You know, giving. You know, not necessarily to receive, but in a giving sense. And I think for me, I could have gone quiet, and, you know, I don't take anything away from people that have done that, but I just had to be doing something. I think, yes, I've got a 4-year-old, and yes, we've juggled that, but I wanted to be doing something for my industry, and I think that's, you know, I'm a doer. I'm not really a person to sit back. So I think for me, that's been the real take home, and I've also learned so much. You know, with all this content online, yes, there are days that we've all been a bit zoomed out, but, you know, your podcast has been brilliant, and it's, you know, it's spreading a really positive, you know, message out there, isn't it? And I think there's nothing wrong with that. I think that, you know, it's a great brand builder, isn't it? You know, there's nothing negative to take from it. I think there's only positives.
Talking about podcasts, a little birdie tells me that there'll be a Jo Ferreday podcast very soon.
Oh yes, well, we've said it's not going to be a Jo Ferreday podcast because you know, I want to make sure it's on brand. But yes, we are going to be launching a business related podcast, and I'm sure that I will have some very special guests on there.
Amazing.
Just talking about you know, it's basically called Sheer Business Inspiration. So it's going to be talking to business and thought leaders about certain topics, really getting to the bones as to what's worked for them, what hasn't worked for them. Because I think, again, it's a knowledge, it's a stream of knowledge. And I always think to myself, when I listen to something, I want to be able to learn something new. And I think, you know, if you're speaking to your industry peers, you know, some really great, you know, thought leaders and business leaders, there's nothing, you know, I think it's only a positive. So yeah.
Yeah, sounds great. And I wish you all the best with that. Let me ask you this question. Do you think that the hospitality sector has got a problem with equality, gender equality being my topic there?
I don't think it's as bad as it used to be. I would say, you know, days of old, absolutely. That's a bit of a tough one, that, isn't it?
It is a tough one. It is a tough one,
Yeah.
but
In some ways, I think, yes, it still lingers a little, doesn't it? I feel. But I think there are ways of moving past that. And also, I think you've got to grit your teeth and say, what do you personally want to achieve in life and how you're going to go and get it? And are you going to be hung up about that? Or are you just going to grab the bull by the horns and go? Do you know what I mean? And
yeah.
And I think that's what I am, you know, yes, there's, you know, there's equality in lots of areas, isn't there? And I just think, yes, it's not great, but is it going to stop me from achieving what I want to? Probably not.
Yeah. Well, I ask you the question because, you know, you're a strong, independent woman who's running a successful business. So, you know, if for our female listeners, they will draw inspiration from that. So, you know, if you are in a company where you feel like you maybe have hit a ceiling and you can't move forward, then, you know, what made you, and you said about your son, but what made you actually go, the time's now, the time's right to start something on my own?
Well, because so many moons ago, I worked for Birmingham City Football Club, and that was my first experience of working in the hospitality industry. And I got to a point, I mean, in any football club, there's a ceiling, isn't there? And you can't really get any further. And it was in the days of the Golds and Karen Brady being in power. So it was an amazing experience to work, you know, with all of those amazing business people. But it was very much, you know, the sales director was male and my immediate boss was male. And, you know, I was still able to achieve what I wanted to achieve, but I didn't quite get, you know, I did quite get to that point where I thought, well, I'm not going to achieve what I want to, so what am I going to do? And me and he's my husband now, but he was my boyfriend at the time. We set up a marketing and media agency. It was websites, and I did sell a bit of hospitality. It didn't quite go as we planned because the recession hit, and we decided to walk away from it, and we took a lot of learnings from that. But I left Birmingham City Football Club to set up that business with him, and, you know, we learned such a lot. So all my advice would be is, even if it's not setting up your own business, if you're not getting to where you want to get to, then think about how you can get. And if you need to move on, look at what the next opportunity looks like. I know at the moment, you know, there's probably going to be more people than there is jobs, but there are ways around things and there are opportunities available. You've just got to open your mind and go and get it. And there are opportunities. You just got to find them.
I'm sure you wouldn't mind some of our female listeners and male listeners reaching out to you after the show.
Yeah, no, absolutely. More than happy. I am on most platforms, as is the business, but my favourite home, and I shouldn't really say it, but I do love being on LinkedIn. So
you love it. You're
I
the
do
LinkedIn
love it.
queen.
I love it. I really do. So yeah, please feel free to connect with me on there. I'd love to connect.
Well, we'll share your link for your charity, and we'll share the link
Fabulous.
for obviously yourself on LinkedIn. Before we leave you, I want to ask you the question of, what is the future of events in this world? In this world, let's start with the UK first. But, you know, what's going to happen?
Yeah, so definitely feel that we are not seeing the end of virtual events anytime soon. People that are coming into the industry really need to ramp up their knowledge and understanding of how they can manage an event, a virtual event. You know, that's what we've diversified in. That's what we're helping and supporting clients do. We're helping and supporting them how to present confidently online, but also on the venue side of things, you know, there's lots of virtual show rounds, there's lots of virtual fan trips, believe it or not. So there's, you know, we've got to embrace virtual. That is not going away. I think we'll see a big shift in hybrid events in the next 12 months. So I think people will go for live events, but they'll also look at the streaming option alongside, because I think numbers may still be capped, who knows, but I think that's going to be at least in the next 12 months. But you're never going to take away the human connection. So I know that's always going to be a long-term thing. I know I miss meeting people. So
are you taking bookings at all at the moment? Are you sort of hedging your bets? Are you saying like, look, let's look at Christmas, Halloween, doing that? Yeah, no,
I mean, we've got clients that have all, you know, last week we did the search. It was their meetings were in the spring. They've now moved them to October, and they've said that's what they wanted to do, and we're not going to force them say no. And actually, it's within the safe numbers that have been approved for hotels, so that's all good. We've got clients that are looking sort of April time for the larger events, so fingers crossed that the government are happy for that to move forward. And a corporate hospitality, yes. I mean, we've had inquiries for Wimbledon, we've had inquiries for Six Nations, and you know, the whole world wants to experience those live events again. And you know, I guess a lot of people have not been able to have holidays this year, so maybe they're stockpiling the money to have these one-off experiences next year. I don't think it, you know, I think people are aspirational people and they're looking forward. So yeah, happy to accommodate, definitely.
Well, we all hope that the world of before will be a little bit similar to what we're going to walk into next, because you know the events industry is so key to hospitality, and people like you obviously are a big part of that. So Jo, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you. I know you've got something with your son now, so I wish.
It's his preschool graduation of all things. So
I didn't even know there was a graduation preschool.
Because I mean, it's going to be quite low key compared to previous years. So it's just going to be handed something and have a picture taken, but he gets to say bye to his preschool friends. So well,
that's lovely. Well, Jo, we'll catch up soon, and keep up the good work, and good luck to Sheer Edge for the rest of the year.
Thanks ever so much, Liam. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you, Jo. That was great speaking to you, and I wish Sheer Edge all the best. And literally, as we just finished our call, Boris Johnson has announced that from the 1st of October, exhibitions and conferences can start again. So the events industry is back in action. You've been